Welcome, everybody. I'm Paul Michoni. I'd like to introduce some people on the board. We have Anthony Trevisani, which will be my deputy supervisor. We have Rich Woodland for 4th Ward. We have Dave Reynolds for his 3rd Ward. And we have Jim Messa, 1st Ward. And welcome back, Jim. We do have 2nd Ward councilman that used to be my seat that we need to pick somebody for tonight, which the board will pick. A new board member, and also we have Herb Cully, our town attorney. But actually, let's start with, we're going to do the presentations first, and then what we'll do is we'll pick the next councilman for the 2nd Ward, and we'll swear him in tonight. So we have first is the Hartford Luxury Apartments Projects, Steve Buck. Bring your stuff up here if you want, so you put it on the board.
Yep. The purpose of our presentation for tonight is to introduce a few changes we would like to employ. For starters, we had visions of coming up to the south end of our property, and we were looking to put an assisted living facility behind what we started out front. Since that time, we ran into a whole menagerie of wetlands just south of our property, and so that basically threw a big monkey wrench into what our plan was.
Designated wetlands?
We had a wetlands expert come out to flag, and he said they're definitely, they're not mapped wetlands by DEC, but they are Army Corps, they qualify as Army Corps wetlands, and on a 20% slope, I don't know how it happens, but
Wow.
they're wetlands. So, due to that, we wanted to introduce actually expanding our lands. We're looking to purchase about 10 acres of property from Jim Brack to the south of us, and so we're looking to expand into the condominiums. We submitted, as I had said in one of the previous board meetings, it's about an 18-month process for us to submit to the Attorney General's Office of New York State, and we have to submit an offering plan, for them to approve so that we can sell the condo piece of the property off as separate individual condos. So last week we completed the test the market form that they require from the AG's office. So at this point in time, within 30 days, we'll have approval to market for sale the condominium component of the project. And once we have our marketing complete, the marketing is going to dictate to us 95% of the people who have been inquiring about the condos want single floor. These layouts contemplated 2-story condos, townhouse style buildings. It looks like we're going to have to switch to mainly 95%, single floor. So at that point in time, we'll be able to finalize our footprints of our building and make sure that our stormwater runoff calculations, are still within the allocated stormwater runoff that we have from, footprints of buildings. And so what this plan contemplates is adding some units of condos directly on this portion of land that's to the south of us, which there's wetlands that come and they swoop around this whole area right here, but we can get this set of condos within that footprint without disturbing any wetlands. We wanted to take out the 18 unit apartment building here, and we wanna,
So that in the plan, was originally approved. We're taking out.
what's in the original approval was 18 moderate price apartments here and 18 units here. We want to move these 18 units and add another 18 units at least to this portion of property. We still have to do some due diligence with wetlands up in here because we only mapped to this line right here. But we believe that we could fit another 36 units of, this would be moderate rate apartments. And so the current approval has these 36 apartments, which are luxury units that we're building now. And this 30-unit building, we're looking to expand it to 36 because we're taking away 18 here. And so the footprint of that 30 unit becomes a 36. This is this corner portion of the building. And we're looking to add some condo units out here by the road and substituting some condo units here because for this 18-unit building, it's going to be a lot easier for us to have more room to really stretch our legs out down here in the footprint of the building and parking. So, you know, we wanted to introduce it conceptually to the board, and so we just need to understand that Herb, what would you call it?
It's an amendment to final.
An amendment to?
Right, because this board previously received your application, we did a PDD, we referred it to the planning board. The planning board did your actual site plan, sent it back to the town board recommending approval, and the town board approved it.
Okay.
Does he have to go back to the planning board?
It's up to you guys. I think what we need to do is see his actual plan, probably get Chris involved as it relates to the wetlands, and then it's up to you guys whether you want to send it back for, it's clearly an amendment, right, Joe, the final?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would think it would be good to go back to the planning board because of the fact that
Yeah.
we are gonna have changes to stormwater runoff. There's gonna be utility changes, so there's probably enough changes to what we're talking about doing to send it back to the planning board.
And that's section 118-40, and you can walk it right through as to your submissions, which Al knows.
Okay.
We still have final on it?
Final say, yeah.
How many condos additionally are you putting in the bottom line? Is it 23 additional ones from what you had before, or?
Well, we don't, again, until we have the final footprint, what's happening is, like for instance, this shows 6 condos. Because they're one story, we're only gonna get 4 here. And we're only gonna get 4 here. So we have a net loss of 4. We're gonna have a net loss of 2 here. And so, instead of losing it, we wanna bring them down here and bring some of them over here. Because this 6 is probably gonna actually be 4. This 6 is probably gonna actually be 4. So, because of the fact that we're going from 2-story to 1-story, we're losing about a third of our units just because of the floor plan and how they spread out on the site. And so we're going to add more units here. And so, like I said, for the moderate rate apartments, we still have these 18 here, and we're going to be looking for somewhere between 36 and 48 for this portion of land down here.
Wouldn't you need to know that to go to the planning board, how it's gonna be laid out? It's confusing. The shaded area is not necessarily additions.
No, the shaded area is additions. the process that we're following is conceptually introducing to the town board what the idea is, okay? Because that's the original steps that we followed. We first came to the town board.
Right.
The town board conceptually said, yes, it's fine, go down to planning.
Right.
Planning vetted out all of the technical aspects of the project. And so, what we don't wanna do is, we don't wanna spend a lot of money unless we know that there's buy-in, so that when it comes back to the town board, that there aren't issues that we're creating.
And all the issues that made this a zoning hybrid, if you will, are still intact. The walking trails,
Yes.
whatever was there is still intact. The other, and I know you touched on it, but you had very specific calculations on stormwater runoff.
Yes,
Obviously, you found that there's a wetland area that's more significant or has impacted the parcel in some way that perhaps you weren't aware of before.
yeah, that doesn't impact the stormwater calculations. It just impacts the areas that we can disturb with development,
Okay.
so.
So at some point, I'd like it all reinforced that the calculations remain in effect and that we're not gonna see more runoff than was originally discussed, and that you're gonna stand behind that.
Yeah.
And they'll provide that to Chris.
Right.
Because they have to pay
I
for
want
Chris.
that all done again.
And Chris will verify the calculations with their engineer.
Right.
And to that end, some initial conversations that Al and I have had is that if we purchase more land back here, we can move these buildings back enough so that we can expand the stormwater detention area number 3.
More retention.
Okay, and, we would only have to increase the size of that maybe a half, so that'll give us enough land to be able to shift that down, and we have plenty of room to address any storm. And also give a reduction of runoff, not just handle the runoff.
And also show me an expansion of the basin number 1 over there on the left, upper left corner. Yes.
So you've increased the value on area 1 here?
Yes,
Yes, we're anticipating on an increase in the area.
No.
With that building that's gonna be located down in the lower left-hand corner, that will increase runoff from that side of the site. So I can envision that we'll probably have to expand the detention basin.
What about for the new additions that are close to the road though? Where would you?
That was taken into account last time. What was coming from the areas that we could manage, we more or less overmanaged it so that the runoff from the areas we couldn't manage would still be a wash. And it was,
This is a huge issue, because it affects Mud Creek and everything between here and between that parcel and Mud Creek.
Yes.
If this doesn't work, it's ugly.
oh, absolutely, and like I said, we're proud of the fact that our project has significant reductions in the stormwater runoff, which was confirmed by Chris.
Okay.
So,
The building that's under construction now is where on here?
this one right here.
Okay.
So what's your next building? This one up here?
We're gonna break ground on 2 buildings of condos, so, what we're hoping to be able to do between now and April 1st is shift these buildings down, increase our stormwater detention, get this all worked out, so that we can break ground on 2 condo buildings.
Okay.
And so, for 2018, we're looking to finish these 36 and have them online by September 1st. We're looking to build out a minimum of 8 condos, and we'd like to break ground on these 18 units of moderate rate apartments. Right there.
So all the condos you changed from having the second floor to the first floor?
Yeah, like I said, 95% of the people inquiring,
Want first
they
floor?
want 1 floor. And it's amazing because, there's about $70,000 difference in price, and they don't even bat an eye. They said they won't even consider the 2 floors. So, we wanted to conceptually, introduce things, to the town board. And I guess if it gets referred down to the planning board, for what we end up with in this area right here, we would just want some guidelines sent down from the town board as to what the density would be, like 12 units per acre, or 14, or some type of guidelines, so that when Al finalizes it, you know, we have some parameters to work with. Anything else that you can think of there?
So you got an increase pretty much of almost 50 units, give or take.
Yeah, yes.
That's with the assumption that there will be, you know, with the count that's shown there now. Again,
Right.
Steve mentioned in some cases the count will be lower.
But you're adding 10 acres too.
That's correct.
So Steve, you said you haven't purchased that property that's shaded in the lower portion yet? And it's-
No, this purchase and this purchase, it will be contingent upon what we're able to get for approval.
Well, you're gonna show that in your plan when you get the final plan together, correct?
Yes.
But you're not gonna, are you gonna be under contract to buy it
Yes. Yep.
with an authorization to go forward?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
it'll be under contract to purchase. it.
Contingent on
Contingent
site
on-
plan approval.
Right.
So this is more of just a conceptual, obviously, we wouldn't pass a resolution, but I think you just want to feel for the board as to whether or not they see any concerns. Very similar to what we have as a sketch plan conference with the chairman of the planning board, and Joe Booth and Rick, et cetera. Then you would go make your application. With a planning board application, we go preliminary then final. So in this case, you want this to be in lieu of the sketch plan conference. You'll submit your final documents. The board will then consider it, and assuming it's acceptable, refer it out to the planning board for site plan.
Yes.
Joe, are you seeing anything?
It's a perfect interpretation.
Oh, I'm leaving. Rick?
You're good?
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks, Ann.
thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
And I'll give you the packages for you to take off.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Joe. Next presentation is Julie Cuthbert. Judy?
Yeah, I'm coming up here.
Yeah,
This is
come on
gonna
up.
take a couple minutes, considering that I'm still alive. Okay, how many of you know what happened to me? Have you been briefed? Besides Jim? How many did you clue in?
Briefly, these two before the meeting and this one.
Yeah, I've been briefed.
Okay. This is an issue, like, I have to laugh, development, and yet, in the town of New Hartford, in my area, all I hear are gunshots, like during deer season, out of deer season, after dark, which brings us to why I'm here. I was injured on the first day of, opening day of gun season. I had had a property dispute. I had just put in a bid for a house on Grange Hill, and I had asked that the owner of the house that I was purchasing from not allow hunting on the 22 acres that I was buying. And the next door neighbor had been allowed to hunt there. Well, apparently that made him angry, and so he put his tree stand 15 feet from my property line. Now, I have been there since 1994. Don't ever think that I don't know where my property lines are and where my neighbor's property lines are, because I know where they are. So I'm looking at a tree stand that I am seeing on Dr. Edline's property. And I'm really good friends with Edline. I picked up the phone, I said, you have a tree stand on your property, I know you don't want hunting, your daughter uses that property, you know, to go out on and take school groups, kids, whatever. So, with that being said, I had called the DEC and they told, I said, call him and tell him his tree stand's not on his property. So instead of doing that, they give him my phone number. Gigantic mistake. So the guy calls me up, we get into it on the phone. And he says, I know where my property line is, and my tree stand is on my property. So we proceed to, get into this. So I go up there with my ATV right on my line every day of deer season, before the gun season. So 6:30 a.m. on gun season, I drive up on my ATV. I'm in blaze orange. I am unarmed. I have no noisemakers. Don't forget, I work with MCON a lot of times, so I know the harassment laws, okay? I'm not stupid. I turn the ATV off, he's on his telephone. Well, don't think for 20 seconds that I don't know what's going on here, because I have the New Hartford police reports that show that this jackass turned around and tried to have me arrested 3 times for trespassing on his property, even stating falsely to the New Hartford Police Department that he had posted his property, which he put up one posted sign with no name on it on Dr. Edline's property. So I proceeded to tell the New Hartford officers that he didn't know what he was talking about. Okay. So now I go up there opening day of gun season, I turn off the key, I'm doing nothing, he's on the phone. He gets off the phone, he says to me, oh, I just called the police on you. And I said, well, that's good for you. I mean, New Hartford's number, 733-6666. And he said, no, I've called the DEC for harassment. And I said, really? I'm on my property, my ATV's turned off, I have no noisemaker. Don't think I don't know the harassment laws, you're wasting your time. Then I will spare you the 4-letter words that I was called. And all I said to him was, it's okay, it's okay. I don't care. I tended bar for 10 years. There isn't anything that you, as a millennial, can say to me that's going to make a difference. I've already heard it all. So then he said to me, well, let me make you an offer. He said, I will sell you the house with the property, mine for $260,000. And I said, well, that's really, nice of you, and I appreciate the offer. But guess what? Your name isn't on anything. You don't own shit. Sorry, guys. Those were my words, because you all know me. So anyway, that made him even madder. So I again said to him, you need to move your tree stand. I said, I had the surveyor up here. And I said, I've hired the surveyor, Dr. Edline's hired the surveyor. Tentatively, my surveyor and her surveyor put up ribbons showing where this property line is, and you took them down. And you admitted that to Shirley Edline. He's like, that's because I know where my property is. Okay. So I said, you know what? We're done here. I said, we're done. I have learned in all the years I've been alive that you can't fix stupid, and you're stupid. I get off my ATV, I go to walk away, I'm maybe 50 feet from this guy, he fires his gun. I end up, and I have the statements here, I end up with a brain bleed. I end up in ICU for 6 days, plus 4 more days in the hospital, because this guy fires a gun right next to me, and it causes the trauma causes the blood pressure to go up so high that it bursts a vessel in my head. Now, I'm in ICU, and the gentleman, the officer came, and I gave him my statement. And so now I'm told that they can't, and I figured criminal negligence. So now they're telling me, I like you, Chief and Sarah, but I'm really mad. So they tell me, well, we're sorry, there's nothing we can do. You didn't see him pull a trigger. Well, you know what? It's not my job to catch the criminal, guys. It's up to you to do a little legwork. Well, but you didn't see him. Well, who cares? I got a busted blood vessel in my head. He's sitting in a tree stand 50 feet from me. Where do you think it came from? You think I don't have a gun. So my issue is that I want this guy charged with criminal negligence. I feel I've got over $150,000 worth of medical bills. There is going to be a lawsuit. So I really would like, and I called the troopers, and of course they don't like to step on your toes. So, it kind of was what it was. Now, I had the most awful condescending conversation with an Officer Kowalski. Now get this, if you don't think that didn't make me mad. He gets on the phone and he says to me, you know, you knew it was opening day of deer season, you knew the tree stand was there. You think maybe you made a bad decision? He said, you know, you think maybe you shouldn't have gone up there? And I said, you're kidding me, right? I've done this since 1994. I've never had anybody do this to me. You know, as far as I'm concerned, this is friggin' attempted murder. So he's like, well, I think you made a bad judgment call. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what. For me, and all the other people in the town of New Hartford that own property and that don't hunt and that may not know there's hunters that border them, how about we start a proposal where opening day of deer season, the town starts picking up our tax bill. And then the last day of deer season, they can start charging us again. Because what you're telling me is, I'm not supposed to be on my own property during deer season. I made a mistake. Yeah, I make a lot of them. Talking to you is one of them. So, with that being said, that's one issue. The second issue is, you guys like to develop. I get that. But you know what? You're a town. These conservation laws are older than dirt. And if you're going to allow hunting, and I'm sure you're going to, and I'm not here jumping up and down on the deer hunting community, but geez, guys, you think maybe that you better study this a little, and you better do something about, within your own town of New Hartford, extrapolate on the conservation law. Make these guys wear blaze orange. Check and see if they should be hunting on a piece of property if they don't have enough acreage. Because this guy obviously doesn't. His hunting area is maybe 4 acres, you know. And the other thing that you don't know, you can honestly, you know, you're thinking that you have to be 500 feet from a road when you shoot. That's not true. You can pull up, if you see a deer, you can pull up, you can park your truck, you can get out of your truck, you walk around to where the grass is, and you shoot your gun. Whether you know what's 500 feet away or not, that's what you can do. Now, the town of, or the area from Chautauqua, they've learned their lesson. Chautauqua was where that woman was just killed by a deer hunter. They figure the shot was fired 620 feet away. So obviously he's using a rifle. Okay, so he thinks that she's a deer. She's walking her dogs. She's dead now. But if you think lightning can't strike in the same place twice, you're wrong. Because right after that, guess who? We have another clown who, in the same Chautauqua County, fires a gun, illegally shooting at a deer, and also shooting in close proximity to a civilian, charged with reckless endangerment. Okay, now we have another one, Chautauqua County. I guess I should be glad I don't live there, right? The guy, a few days later, shoots what he thinks is a deer. He shoots at a pickup truck, right? The bullet goes into the engine casing and shuts down the truck. He's charged with reckless endangerment. But some guy shoots 50 feet from a tree stand, and I'm told, oh, there's nothing we can do, you didn't see him pull a trigger. And do you know that nobody even goes up there and talks to the guy? At least not in my police report. They don't go up there, they don't say, were you there? They don't say, did you pull a trigger? Nothing. Now, I'm sorry, but if they had questioned him, get your butt wet, get your feet wet, go out to the tree stand, look for the shell casing. Did he fire the gun once? Yeah, he did. And I have witnesses that heard the shot at the same time this happened. Now, I know you're mad at me, and I know I'm mad at you. You tell me why this guy has not been charged with criminal trespass, or criminal endangerment.
Ms. Custer,
You know, without,
I would just, not to cut anybody off, but I would just like to say, I spoke to the chief in depth about this.
Oh,
And there is an active investigation going on. So I don't know what anybody told you or what they said to you, but
it
he
said,
is
this says
currently
it's dead.
well, it's not dead. It's
Okay.
currently being worked on.
Okay,
He is gonna look into it, and we will have an answer for you when he's done with his investigation. And I will personally call you or the chief, but I think we just gotta give him a little time to go and interview and,
I
you know,
wasn't, I saw the police report, it
Right.
didn't say anything about that.
Okay, it might not be in detail, but he is currently working on it, and we will get back to you on the matter, myself or Mr. Cully, or even the chief will get back to you, so
Okay.
don't think we dropped it, or it went away, or didn't want to be bothered with it, so.
But
it's-
will you at least consider as a board, in a town the size of New Hartford, that maybe you should extrapolate on the hunting laws and start maybe doing a little more? This isn't just me, I know what I'm doing out there. What about people who are walking their dogs, you know? Somebody's gonna get killed. And I don't own a gun and I don't have a gun and I don't know how to load one, but I'm telling you, am I rethinking that for next deer season? Yeah. Do I wanna go back up there with no weapon, no gun? I gotta tell you, if I had a gun, I probably would've turned around and shot him. Because I felt it was self-defense. I'm sorry, that's all, thank you.
But we will look in that for you too. Thank you. All right, the next item we'd like to do is, pick a councilman for the second ward, which used to be my seat. And, we had, two resumes, one was Dwayne Farr, one was Phil Cittadino. And I don't know if you guys wanna do like we usually do, we bring one out by alphabetical order, and we take a vote on it, and then if they don't go through, we go to the next one. How do you want it? Is that fine? So everybody's seen the first resume, Phil Cittadino.
I make the motion, entertain the resume.
Okay,
I'll second that.
second,
Discussion.
discussion?
I looked at both resumes. I think Mr. Cittadino does have some good qualifications, especially the construction area, especially if we move forward towards stormwater management issues and with some expertise there. It's one of the things that stood out to me.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, I just, I think both candidates' resumes were good. I think we're fortunate enough to have two viable residents come forward. I think we both, or all of us, really pondered it out. Like, it's a tough decision. I think they both have great credentials, and you know, kind of mirror what Councilman Woodland has said. I think we bring some things to the table that hopefully has some value. I know it's a tough position because they are in it for 1 year, and if they run an election in the fall and again subsequent year, so.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
It is, it's very, very tough, so.
Yeah, I think we are fortunate that we have two people that are interested in it. It's, oftentimes that's not the case.
Right.
Whoever is not chosen, I think we want to make sure that they're available for perhaps some other board
Yeah,
position,
definitely.
or so they want to be involved, and that's a plus. Absolutely.
Yeah, tough decision.
Yeah, it is, so. All right, all those in favor?
So you're moving the resolution that's set forth in the agenda that the town board does hereby appoint Philip Cittadino to fill the 1 year of the unexpired term of second ward councilman effective January 3rd, 2018 through December 31, 2018.
Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So, what we'd like to do is, we have Judge Copeland here. We'll do the ceremony to swear in Mr. Cittadino. I'd like to do that first, and then welcome Mr. Cittadino up to the chair. Want to come up, Judge? Gail, did you have the book to sign? Okay. Wait, do you want to grab one of these, because you don't have to block that, right? That's not it.
He's got to sign that.
Yeah.
He's got to take the oath and sign it. I go up and get it. I don't have a
I don't have a key.
Oh, she doesn't have the book that he has to sign. Yeah. I will tell her. She's got
You have a pocket edition?
These are apps.
Yeah.
Your phone's about as big as a Bible.
When your finger starts going, this is what you. Alright.
I can't swear more about
No, that's fine. And I don't wanna go through the meeting without having another vote here, so.
That's you.
Phil.
Not me.
Edino,
His.
that's your phone.
Yeah, that's okay. It's your wife, she wants you to dance? Oh, boy. You know, you always miss something.
Right.
If that's it, you're a lucky guy.
Congratulations. Thank you. She's 2 for 2.
Okay, go get one. Hey, I was here earlier today. We talked.
Me too. 3 times.
Actually,
3 times. You see 4 or is it 3?
I wanted to use your family Bible.
Thank you. Well,
Do you want to hold it?
Raise your right hand.
Raise your right hand. I, Philip Cittadino,
I, Philip Cittadino,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the rules and laws of the town of New Hartford,
the rules and laws of the town of Hartford,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of councilman
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of councilman
for the town of New Hartford
for the town of New Hartford
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Well, welcome. Thanks, sir. You're welcome. Here's keys. Upstairs, a mailbox in the office. And everybody, I wanted to give you something here. We're always looking for Wi-Fi down here, so we have Wi-Fi now. So I'm gonna give you all the Wi-Fi instructions. You guys would have it if you need it in the meeting.
Awesome.
So you guys can, huh? Thank you. So here, if you guys gotta look something up in the meeting, you got Wi-Fi. All right, we have reports of town officials by standing committee. We've got Public Works and Sewer Committee, which is myself. What we're gonna do today actually is talk to Rick Sherman, had a few things that he wanted to speak to on the Public Works and Sewer, so Rick?
I would like permission from the board to accept the bid on the used sewer truck. Come off Auctions International, and I got $166,000 for it. And a person out of Farmington, New York is purchasing it. So they gave me permission to put it on and to get rid of it, permission to accept his bid.
Make the motion accept.
Second.
And we got all the money we were looking for.
I actually got more than what I was looking for.
Discussion?
Secondly, both shifts
No,
are...
they-
Let me finish, I
Oh.
said discussion.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Secondly, both shifts are picking up, the process picking up Christmas trees. There's a lot out there, so day shift and night shift is working on that. Getting picked up in a timely manner, as long as they get put out. Third, went down to meet with DOT today on Shenango Road Bridge. We secured that $250,000 for repairs underneath the bridge. And Paul and I went down, met with the director of DOT, along with construction, engineering, and they gave us some pointers. They're not going to get involved because it's owned by the town of New Hartford and the city of Utica, but the side that's damaged is the town of New Hartford. So they'll be working with us, and we'll be talking to, I don't know if we need to bring this up and get permission. Lackner did a lot of the work on the bridge when it was initially, 2013 was damaged. Again, they did the engineering and design of the bridge when it was rebuilt last year, 2016. And we felt it was a good idea that the knowledge of the bridge and what they've done in the past, that we bring them on board to give us some specs and design of the repair that needs to be done on our side.
And also to add, I think DOT actually paid for almost the first phase of that, so they would have all that compiled data, and we wouldn't have to pay again another engineering firm to start from scratch. These guys would already have it, so,
This is with the Lackner Group?
yeah, yeah.
Is there an estimated fee on that or cost?
Well, we have a $250,000 budget for the whole project, including engineering and development, so, that's where we're at, but DOT said they're willing to help us out and guide us in the right direction to get it done, for the best possible price, so.
Do we know how that got overlooked, this place not done? Do we have a feel for what happened? Or did the erosion take place?
2013, when the Utica side got damaged, along where the trail is today, they got wiped away. I went to Senator Griffo. Griffo came in with some monies, and they went to DOT. DOT hired Schultz Construction Company. It was their emergency contractor, and they came in and repaired Utica side and put back the railroad trail where it was washed away. Back in 2013. 2016, when the bridge was rebuilt, they rebuilt some of the infrastructure underneath, back walls. They gave it new steel girders and a new deck, new guide rail. I went to them and asked them, I said, please, can we do the New Hartford side of the structure of where it's eroding away and give us the protection on our side that you gave the Utica side? And they said, no, they couldn't do it. They didn't have enough money in that project. So it got overlooked and didn't get done. So then the July 1st storm came of 2017, and the waters washed the infrastructure away from showing the back walls and the piers that hold that bridge up. It's not in any danger today because of the piers, they're in the ground like 25, 30 feet, so they say. And, but it needs to be, if we get another structure where the flood comes down and hits that structure again, we need to get it fixed.
Wasn't it flagged as cautionary?
Right now, it's got a yellow flag on it because of the caution flag. I believe it's, a few months ago, we had a rain event, where we got a couple inches of rain. I took the discretion to go out and close it. And after the rain event, we went out and we inspected it again to make sure there was no more damage done in the previous storm. And that's pretty much where we are.
I think that was a wise move, and I think it got the ball rolling.
It did, yes. So that's where we are.
Just to add, Rick filled out all the grant paperwork and stuff today and handed it to DOT, so nice job, Rick.
Thank you.
We're actually ahead of the game because of that, so.
That's all I got.
What about, just briefly, because I know we got a cold temperature, just talk to Rick prior to the meeting. Want to just give an update on water main breaks and what areas?
Water main breaks, we've had one on up in Woodbury on Barley Mow today, and we had another one this afternoon on Janet Terrace and Humphrey.
Now, is it walk that water? I mean, there's,
Yeah,
now,
They take care of it, right?
yeah.
since that development just got newly paved,
Just got a newly paved
so they'll get it back to,
in the spring. They'll come in and put a patch in. We're up to par with the conditions that we've had the last few weeks, the snow and the cold weather. We were getting low on materials, salt and sand. I gave us the salt mine a call, and all the salt has been going to the thruway and the DOT, so our deliveries haven't been on time the way they should be. I gave them a call, and I advised them what we take care of here in the town of Hartford with 2 schools and the village of Yorkville, and what we need, and then the deliveries that showed up yesterday and today. So we'll get back to that.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
thank you.
Public Safety Courts Committee, Councilman Reynolds.
Yes, we need to approve. Stand by. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 2018 professional dues for the department, New York State Association of Chiefs, $150, International Association of Chiefs of Police, $150, New York State Juvenile Officers Association, $175. And I make that a affirmative motion.
Second.
Motion by Dave, second by Jim. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. All right, Town Clerk Committee, Councilman Woodland.
Got a resolution for the supervisor to sign the 2017 purchase service agreement for the youth employment program. I'll make the motion that we accept that.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Jim. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Do you have the resolution for me to sign? Do you have it for me to sign? Okay. Okay, you want to sign that, Elaine? Okay, matters submitted by councilman, attorney, deputy supervisor. So, Councilman Reynolds, stormwater management.
Yeah, a couple things. I think we'd all agree that has been and continues to be a huge issue in the town, the stormwater management throughout the town. A couple of areas in the 3rd Ward that affect a huge swath of land and people. I proposed this a few months back And I know Barton and Judas did some preliminary work on a retention area, kind of behind the homes on Foxcroft Road, which would, retention has proved to be, I think, the key in our flood management. Every time we've done a retention basin, it has solved the problem. We're going a long ways towards solving it. So I'm proposing that we continue that. I'll be talking to Barton and Judas. I may ask council to get involved in contacting the owner up there and see if we can't get an acre or so of land and establish a retention pond. That would take care of a huge westerly portion of the Woodbury Road area, Pippinwood, Paris Road, Jordan Road, Genesee Street in the village, all the way down Wilbur Road, Gulf Ave. It actually impacts as far down as Campion Road here. We've got to retain it on the hill and kind of meter it coming out. The second phase of that, or the second area of that, involves the work that the FEMA is going to do on Woodbury Road in the demolition of homes there. And this is an aerial shot of the existing head wall, and the area that's blotched out there is the house that will be torn down and the shed that will be eliminated. And I'm proposing that we move that head wall from its present location to the right, if you will, or to the north, so that it then becomes on our property. We end up with that property. Prior to, if we don't move it, then we still have to go on to private property in order to maintain and do anything with it. And then we end up having to restore that private property sometimes twice or 3 times a year. It just doesn't make sense. Move it to our property now. We have much better control over it. We don't have to worry about getting onto private property with it. The point is, at the time of demolition, at the time that that lot is restored, we need to move this at that point. I just want the board to be aware of that and keep it in mind as that whole demo project moves forward.
So you brought before the Foxcroft, this is separate from that?
It is separate, except that retention area actually feeds into this. And with this, this still becomes overwhelmed to a point. And the homeowner is out there literally in the middle of the night trying to keep it clear.
Sure.
We need to take ownership of that and have it on our land, if you will.
So what's the next step?
Well, I want you to be aware of this as the demo proceeds. That's got to be part of the project, however we're going to do it. And then I'll get with council.
Sure.
I want to talk to the owner of the parcel behind Foxcroft. It's actually a parcel that's owned from Tibbetts Road. Residences on Tibbetts Road.
So we talked about this a couple days ago. I went up there and took a look at it, and also too, I called FEMA, because we're in that buyout program. The buyout program is just for demolition, so if we do additional work up there, we have to do it in-house, or we have to bid that separately. We can't, so we gotta look at that. If Rick, I don't know if you can handle to do that, or would you have to sub it out? I don't know how that would work, but.
Well, and I understand that, but in the demo, don't they do site restoration too?
They do, but to keep things clarified and make it right.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, they, like, there's drainage pipe involved, there's
Right.
concrete
No, I
involved.
understand that.
So they can't put this in the program, because it'll void our program.
I
If we
understand
do
that.
anything above and beyond the specs that are set forth.
But I hate to have them do a site restoration, and then we go in and screw it up too. So it's
No,
gotta be coordinated.
Well, I'm saying, after the demo's done, Rick can go in there with his guys, and we won't need to bid or do anything. If he puts lays the pipe, then they can come back and they'll do the restoration over it. But they can't do above and beyond what's
Right.
part of the bid that
Understood.
we're going out. So just to set that out too.
Understood.
Okay. Town attorney, the Verizon lease, it's gotta be republished in the.
Yeah, at the last meeting, if you recall, we passed a resolution to go forward with Homeland Towers for a option and ground lease for part of the town park property. This was done, if the town board is going to sell or lease property, it's subject to a permissive referendum under section 64 of the town law. The resolution that we passed, as this one does as well, requires that Gail publish the resolution and post a notice of adoption in the paper, which, when it went to the paper, there was an error with regard to the date that the resolution was passed. So, since the 10 days is now gone, we have to repass, hopefully, the same resolution that we passed before. She would then now, the 10 days would start again for her to publish the notice. It's attached to the back of your package.
Motion to do the resolution.
So you need a new resolution.
Yeah,
I'll second Rich's motion.
First by Rich, second motion by Dave. Discussion. I had two questions. For one, I re-signed a new one for this year coming.
correct.
And then also to the location of the actual tower, because there was some confusion. Is it going on top of the water tower?
No,
Or is it
next
going
to
on
it.
next to it?
A separate piece of
Okay,
land.
so now
adjacent to
was
it.
that land already,
It's town-owned land.
right, but it's part of the park still?
Yes.
Or was it taken
Well-
away from when the tower was,
No,
Okay.
the tower where the tank is actually owned by the water board.
okay,
What they did is, at the time, they swapped, the water board gave the town land in exchange for that piece of land to comply with the federal regulations, because it has to go through an abandonment proceeding with the state and the federal government. So this is on a separate piece of property than the water tank.
okay.
Adjacent to the.
Adjacent, yeah, it's right next to it.
Okay. Motion by Rich, second by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, do you want to do the organizational meeting now, or go through the rest of the unfinished business and matters? Do organizational now? All right, we have our yearly organizational meeting. We'll go through section by section, Gail, or? Okay. Resolution 2 of 2018, the town of New Hartford's opening hours are 8 AM to 4 PM Monday through Friday during 2018. Paul A. Michoni, Supervisor, Town of New Hartford, New York, to be authorized and directed to sign all checks and disbursement of funds to the Town of New Hartford fiscal year 2018. New Hartford Employees Handbook, prepared by Amtech, September 15, 1999. Town of New Hartford mileage rate is established at 46 cents. In accordance with the IRS rules and regulations. Banks at the Town of New Hartford will be used and designated in 2018 as M&T Bank, Chase Bank, BNY, Mellon, MBT Bank, Adirondack Bank, and Wilmington. Town Deputy Supervisor would be Anthony Trevisani. For the time as the town supervisor is in office. So Town of New Hartford Board appoints Paul Michoni as marriage officer from January 1st, 2018, ending December 31st, 2018. The town board appoints the president of the Town of New Hartford's Historical Society, and as the town historian for the fiscal year 2018, contractual sum of $3,700 payable to the Historical Society. Town board hereby appoints Anthony Trevisani, supervisor, for the annual pay of $1,000. Anthony J. Trevisani, Deputy Supervisor, Town of Hartford, be authorized and directed to sign all checks and disbursement funds, said the town fiscal year 2018 in absence of the town supervisor. Town of Hartford Board does hereby authorize town supervisor, financial officer, account clerk to pay bills, expenses to National Grid, Mohawk Valley Water Authority, telephone carriers, town designated vendors, all insurance premiums, to Ford Credit, to Verizon Online, Time Warner Cable, United States Postal Service. Town of Hartford designates the Observer Dispatch as the town official paper for 2018. The rules and procedures are adopted. Town of Hartford Board fiscal year 2018 is set forward by Schedule A and made part of this resolution. Town board meetings, we spoke about having 2 town meetings every month. You guys want to discuss that, or Dave had some questions on it? We're going to leave the town board meeting at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I think, at least as you're just starting out, 2 meetings a month is probably not a bad idea, but I think we should consider 1 meeting a month. I think it's worked. I think if we need a meeting, it's easy to call for a special meeting.
Yeah.
There was some question about the bills being paid at an appropriate time. I think that can be worked out.
Okay. Well, we do have one issue, is the January 4th, so do you want to just scratch that in July? I'm sorry, not January, July 4th, because that goes on the 1st.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we can change this tonight too, but I think you want to have at least one more meeting in January, am I right?
Oh, definitely, yeah, and in February also too, so if we could do that.
Well, let's wait till the February meeting and see if we can't change it to once a month.
Okay, all right. So we'll keep the meetings as the same, but the July 4th meeting we will cancel anyway, because it's a holiday.
So you want me to leave the dates in for 2 meetings a month,
Right,
and if we're gonna change it, we'll do it in February.
yes, but the July 4th, should we take
So
that? I mean,
I'm going to send this to the newspaper
okay,
as 2 meetings a month.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, but July 4th, we'll take that out, because, right?
Leave it on the 18th?
Yeah, just leave it on the 18th, because it's the summer. Okay. Special meetings, 2 members of the board can pull a meeting 2 days ahead of time, with notice and written to members of the board and placed in the area of the town, put it on our website. Standing committees, we have the assessor, human resources, public safety and courts, public works and sewers, senior centers, town clerk, village, school liaison, zoning, and library. Did everybody see the pics? Does anybody have any questions or want to change anything? It's in the packet.
So is something I do like through email, through call you discuss now,
I mean, we all call each other, we all got each other's cell phones, I think that would be fine, right? If you wanna do that? Is that? Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll notify Gail. So once we get, 2 people agree, we send Gail an actual official email. And then that would be the time that she starts for posting and for, is that okay with you, Gail? If we wanted a special meeting?
For a special meeting?
Special meeting. So if I call Dave and say we need a special meeting because we have a flood issue or something going on, and then I send you the email, at that point, that's when the clock starts for moving forward to advertising. Is that fair enough? Awesome. Yep, okay. All right, so we'll vote on that section and we'll go to special committees.
Make a motion, we adopt that section.
second.
Motion by Dave, second by Jim. Any discussion?
Well, what do you, resolution 2, those are schedules attached. to resolution 2. So are you agreeing to that modification of that one section of Schedule A?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to be clear.
Any other discussion for anyone? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dave? All right, standing committees. Special committees are deemed desirable to assist the board in performance of all duties. Such committees may include town officers other than board members in the membership or advisory capacity only. The policy excludes zoning board of appeals, planning board, board of assessment review, police commission, fire board of trustees. Order of business, reading the minutes previously, unless waived by a majority of the members of the board present. Public hearing at 6 p.m. Consideration for public presentation. Reports of town officials presented by the chairman of the respective standing committees. Report of standing committees. Reports for special committees. Consideration of matters submitted by town board members. Consider matters submitted by town supervisor for the following order: financial, miscellaneous communications, unfinished business, and new business. Absence of supervisor. In absence of supervisor, deputy supervisor shall call town board meeting to order. No members of the town board should be absent himself from a meeting for town board more than 10 minutes unless good cause is excused by the supervisor. Refusal to vote. Each member of the board shall vote upon the questions presented unless for good cause he or she is excused by unanimous consent of the members of the board present. Supervision of rules. Town board voted upon roll call resulting as follows. Resolution is declared unanimously carried out. Town of Hartford Board hereby, okay, so we got appointed planning board chairmans. So we have here town planning board appointment chairman, Ellis D'Elia. His term is commencing on January 1st, 2018 and ending December 31st, 2018. Do you want to vote on each?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Jim, second by Dave. Discussion? All in favor?
Paul, do you want to pass resolutions 1 and 2? Because you're up to 3.
Okay, yes. You did one already.
You just modified
Right.
one, you just
Okay.
changed that one thing, so you
Okay,
really
so-
have to pass 1
Okay.
and pass 2
I'll make a motion, we pass resolution 1 and 2
as amended.
as amended.
I'll second.
Motion by Dave, second by Rich. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, resolution 3. We did the appointment for the planning board member. We're gonna put that on hold, keep the advertisement out and see what we get for resumes, so, on that one. So we'll keep that out for now. Appointment, zoning board of appeals, chairman. The town board reappoints chairman of zoning board of appeals for 1 year, commencing January 1st, 2018, and ending December 31st, 2018.
Did Randy Bogart, say?
Yes,
Make the motion.
Randy Bogart will be the chairman.
B-O-G-A-R.
Second.
Motion by Jim, second by Dave. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Appointment for the police commission chairman. We've had some resumes, also included that a councilman can be picked for that position. Does anybody have any suggestions?
Council can be picked for that position.
Yeah, to take it.
When we put the new local law in establishing, there was no restriction.
And it's Jim's seat, so he has the.
That's for the commissioner, not the commissioner, chairman.
We're chairman and we're gonna pick the commissioner. It's both, I'm just doing
What we talking
opposite sides.
Section 24-3.
Yeah, right. Appointment, police commissioner.
Okay.
Any suggestions for the police commissioner for Jim's spot?
We would still have an opening on the commission, yes?
We have an opening right now, so
We have one opening.
somebody can make a motion to pick Jim or someone else, or,
Maybe I'm wrong, but doesn't the commission pick the chairman?
I didn't pick the chairman yet, I went out of order, I was picking the person first.
No, that's-
There's one spot that's open.
But doesn't the commission pick the chairman
Can't
of the commission?
remember how
I think it does.
No, the board does. Each person on this board has an
I thought the
opportunity.
board did it, but
Yeah, we do. We all have an opportunity, so when your term is up, you can pick the self or
No,
somebody.
I understand that, but the chairman of the commission is picked by the commission, I think. No? All right, I stand corrected.
Yeah, we pick both.
What would you like to do, Jim?
I personally wouldn't mind sitting on the commission. Motion.
All right, so I have the motion for Jim anyway.
I'll make the motion if you want us to accept this.
Got a motion for Jim to be put on the commission.
I'll second.
Second by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye. Okay, police commission, the commissioner now we're picking, would be Pat Cardinal. For commission starting January 1st, 2018, ending December 31st, 2018. Or a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Dave, second by Jim. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a spot open on the Board of Assessment Review. We got a resume in, I don't know if you guys seen it. Mr.
just, if I could
Yeah, sure.
clarify, the statute, when we adopted the police commission, said the town board shall select the chairperson of said commission.
For the police commission?
The town board shall elect the chairperson of said commission and thereafter shall select a chairperson at the first meeting in January of each year. So it is a town board. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So in Board Assessment Review, there's a resume attached for Mr. Seifried. I don't know if you guys took a look at it, he's an engineer, he has a lot of qualifications that be a big help to the Assessment Board Review.
I think a motion we accept Omar Seifert.
Okay,
Second.
second. Motion by Dave, second by Jim. Discussion?
That's because Krista had moved, right?
She did, she's no longer being on there, so, do we have to replace her, or was her term was ended though?
No, she moved out of the county.
Okay, so we have to replace, okay. All right, so I'll bring that back. What we have to do is take William W. Seifried and replace Christina Pembroke on the Board Assessment Review. And so the term would end, when her term would end then? Okay, which is not on here, is it?
No.
Yes, it's on. No, it's not on here.
just wanted to turn you around.
Oh, it's irrelevant at this point.
Okay, so just say term ending. Okay. Have a motion?
I made a
Okay.
motion.
Motion by Jim, second by Dave, discussion,
No discussion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 8. The town board hereby appoints Gail Young as the register of vital statistics in the town of Hartford District 3264 for a term of 1 year starting January 1st, 2018, ending at December 31st, 2021. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Dave, second by Jim, discussion,
No discussion.
all in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Appointments, these are the town board standing committees. Did you guys review this? Do you see anybody on there that would like to change? Or? And then the Board of Ethics, Councilman Woodland would be on there. You know, it says councilman, and it got all, it says introduce the following resolution for Board of Ethics.
What was Ralph Humphreys, Dave Core, and Rich
Yeah, but it's, okay.
on next?
Oh, okay, so just cross this out. Okay, so, the standing committees, is everybody okay with those? Okay, do I have a motion to, accept the standing committees for town board? The Board of Ethics?
Standing committee.
Oh, the stand, oh, I know, yeah, no, that's what I'm, but I asked everybody if they'd like to be on a different committee if it's something that's gonna benefit them, so. Do I have a motion to, accept the standing committee?
We need a motion.
You don't?
You're all set.
First time, next.
Yeah.
Okay, so, the town board hereby confirms that Ralph B. Humphreys, Dave Core, and Councilman Woodland were reappointed to the Board of Ethics to serve at the town board's pleasure. Make a motion.
Does everybody agree? I think, again, I don't think, council, we don't need a motion on that, do we?
Yeah, it's a resolution.
Okay. I'll move it.
You didn't need one on standing committees,
Correct.
because those are his
Correct.
appointments.
I'll move it.
Second. Motion by Dave, second by Jim. Discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just note that, not that matters, but here it says 14, I should say.
Yeah, I don't think any of this is like to be. Director of Finance, T. Dry Miller, for the position of 1 year appointment. Town Attorney, Herb Cully, would be the town attorney, would be appointed. And then we can go to resolution number 10. Town Board hereby confirms, approves the town board appointment of Herbert J. Cully, town attorney, for beginning January 1st, 2018, and ending December 31st, 2018. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, motion by Rich, second by Dave. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Did you do Dan, though?
Well, that's an appointment, though, it says, but
Oh, okay.
he's not in here, though,
All right,
Sure.
Yes.
yeah, that's right, it is your appointment.
so it's not in order, so.
It's above the town attorney appointment.
Yep. You read it,
Okay.
you got it.
Appointment, Advisory Committee and Senior Services. The following resolution was introduced and adoption by Councilman Reynolds. What would that be for?
Next
Did
page.
this change? Because last week, all this stuff wasn't in there.
It's simply the senior citizen committee. It's on the next page.
No, I know, but I don't know why it's going back into the, okay, never mind. Resolution number 11. New Hartford Board hereby appoints the following to serve as members of the advisory committee on the senior citizen serve for one-year term beginning January 1st, 2018 and ending December 31st, 2018. You want me to list all the? You got it? Okay.
I'll make a
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second, motion by Jim, second by Dave. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Resolution number 12. That upon recommendation of Hartford Public Library of Trustees, Town of Hartford hereby appoints. This year, we haven't put in the paper yet, so you want to leave this to the next meeting? And then we have to put this on the website. So that one there will come back next week, we'll come back to that one. Resolution number 13. Section 77B of General Municipal Law allows the governing board of municipalities to authorize any officer or employees to attend a convention, conference, or school conducted for such municipality. The town board, Town of Hartford hereby grants permission to town clerk Gail Woolen Young to attest to the 35th Annual New York State Town Clerks Association Conference from July 22nd through April 25th, 2018 in the town of Colony, New York, with expenses to be set as the town budgeted and be it.
Move it.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Jim. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 14, Town Law, Section 27, provides that the town board of each town shall fix from the time to time the salaries of all officers, officials, and employees of said town, wherever elected or appointed, and determine when to be the same to be variable. Town Board, Town of New Hartford hereby approves and establishes the following schedule for 2018 salaries for employees and officials of town board payable in the manner designated. On the next page, everybody take a look at that. I make a motion, or, I'm sorry, motion,
I'll make a motion to accept those salaries.
second. Jim made a motion, second by Dave, discussion,
No discussion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Nancy. No? Okay.
Do you need some action on this?
Yeah, when you're all set, we have a couple quick minutes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
Just a couple quick things. As far as vouchers and payment of bills and any financial reports that I would provide, if we're gonna have 2 meetings a month, we'll do those on the second meeting, just so we have a little, a week or 2 to get things prepared, if that's okay with everybody. If we go back to 1 meeting, we'll obviously do it then. And I just have a couple quick budget adjustments. The first one is for the budget year 2017, and I gave you copies of these, and basically to correct some over budget accounts that are mainly in the Parks and Rec department. I'll give Gail a copy, so I don't have to read through all of those, but any questions on any of those? I went over them with Carson this week. Just basic budget corrections, shuffling one account to another amount. I can get a motion to accept that.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
The other one is for the budget year 2018. This is in regards to the senior center. Eileen is beginning to receive contributions from Memorial for the woman who passed away in the Pearl Street fire. To date, she receives $1,500, and she recommends that we set up a separate account to track that and make the expenditures, and that's for $1,500, and that's what that budget adjustment is for.
Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Jim, second by Dave. Discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's all I've got.
Herb, anything? Nothing? Okay. Anybody? All right, I got a bunch of stuff. One is, I got a bill from, I guess it's supposed to be part of the insurance claim for the Eidelman,
Yes.
lawsuit. So what fund, where would this, come out of? Because it's, so doesn't it go directly to the insurance company?
Yep.
We don't pay that out, right?
I think this was part of our deductible. No, it says paid by insurance claim. Did we pay our deductible? Here, let me see the bill.
2,000. It's the first I've seen of
Yeah, me too. It's a deductible.
Okay.
It's a
So
deductible.
what fund would that come out of?
it. I would think general.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll have to look at it, it's the first time.
All right, I'm just bringing it, so just everybody knows where it.
Yeah.
If you want, I'll sign it, because I was involved.
Do we don't have an account set up if we pay deductibles and things like that, and insurance settlements do?
It comes out of the general fund, we don't have a special.
Yeah.
And that would also come, what, from 2017 then, budget?
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't detailed, so I guess,
Because it was submitted in November.
Well, yeah, if it's a 2017
Yeah.
expenditure.
all right, another thing I had to bring up, our accounting software. Take a look at it, speaking with Dan and Barb, we had a little meeting. Currently, we're using Xerox. Our annual contract come up, it's about $8,700, but they also charge us for just changing the signatures alone was like $700 to change the signatures. It's very costly and it's very archaic. Dan, I know you were telling me about another product that you were gonna look into. Williams, I believe, is a little more up to date.
Yeah, Williamson. We actually did look at it, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I think what we decided when we met was to try to call these people back in and have them, back 4 or 5 years ago, they came in, did a presentation, Gail sat in on it, some of the other departments sat in on it, and it didn't go anywhere. I actually liked it, Barb liked it for the payroll module, but we couldn't get it to go anywhere. So I think what we decided was we're gonna try to get a hold of these people again and have them come in and do the presentation. It was 4 or 5 years ago that we did this. Get some updated costs, take a look at it again, make sure it fits our needs and everything, and present it again for possible change.
Dan, could you set that up for the board to have a presentation, maybe the next meeting to look at it? Because this, they want me to sign a year contract again. And I'm gonna see if we're gonna look to go somewhere else, maybe we can set something up, and negotiate a 6-month contract, so we're not locked in.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, to try to
So-
negotiate either by quarter or 6
Yeah.
months, so we're not locked in for the whole year. I can try to see if I can get them set up to come in for the next meeting.
Okay, so I'll call them, if it's all right with everybody, I'll call them, try and negotiate a shorter term, and then look at a new product that's in. And also too, for our PO system, again, it's an older way of doing it. We have so much paper, and it's just so many people's hands in it. I know there's new PO software accounting programs that actually, most of it is online. So if I have to go approve it, I can approve it and it automatically gets sent and we're not putting all this paper. And in fact, at the end of the day, it totals everything and sends a spreadsheet, could be to every board member, finance, and we can get a better feel and a better look of what we're spending money on. So if you can look into that also with the PO system, with the new software in Williams, if we can do that, I think that'd be a big help and a big savings going forward. And it'd make everything easy to follow, because it's hard to follow right now. I mean, I probably got 200 invoices that are in front of me the last day, and I'll just say a lot of the stuff was from different years, and there wasn't numbers on it, and so it was hard to. And I think if we get a new program in there, and if we're paying this much anyway, we might want to look down the road for that. So
It might be more beneficial to have better checks and balances there, because you don't know what happened in years past, or.
right, and also too, you guys will be able to see exactly where the money goes. Instead of it just saying contractual with an account number, it'll actually say it went to FedEx, it went to a copy machine lease. It'll be more detailed and just a better way of doing it. So that's all. And then I found another bill from Vince Alette, Wide Waters from Home Depot.
Yeah, that was our defense of Home Depot, and he filed a notice of appeal, I believe.
Okay. All right. So Dan, I don't know, it doesn't have
I
any
usually sign that.
count numbers or anything though, so I don't know where it comes.
What have you been doing the tax for sure, he's on
It gets spread between the accounts, between the funds that the taxes were initially charged on. How much is the bill?
$937.50. That's for the appellate brief.
Now, I want to bring you up to date, I got the workers' compensation from Oneida County, it was $178,214.45. They're looking for payment by January 31st, so that came in. And,
What was that?
the workers' compensation, so the total was $178,214. So.
Should be budgeted for.
Right, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention, so I got that in here. Also Section 2019 Uniform Court Act requires town and village judges annually to provide court records, dockets, and respective town and village auditing boards. This one here, I think we have to go for RFP for it, correct? Dan?
No, that I do
That's part of
in-house.
it,
What-
Okay.
Yeah, we just did, the last board meeting, I just presented the 2016.
Okay.
report. You guys approved it. I've got, once I get the board minutes from Gail, in the next few days, I send that to New York State.
Okay.
But that's all that is. That's nothing that is done by an outside firm.
Okay, so you have the dates to respond and everything, so here's that workers' comp for the bill. Next thing is, as you know, I've been working on the website, and the last 2 weeks, I got it up and running 100%, right to the last meeting with agenda, town board minutes, all the information that was on the old site, and plus, I also added some new feeds and new things, like I have a news feed, a meeting calendar on there. There's also a way on there that we could start doing bids. So like, say we want to open up a bid, it's a time lock. No one can see what it is, and when it opens up at a certain time, that's when you'll get the information for bids down the road. But everything that we currently have now on the site, everything works. It's working well. I've actually started uploading different documents that Carol's given me, and I think I got from Gail's office on the taxes, when they're paid, when they're due. Those are all on there. So with your approval, what I would like to do is start as of today, because we're getting new minutes, new things, and I don't want to keep going back and trying to migrate the stuff over and over and over, not using it. Plus, we have 2 sites right now out there. So with your approval too today, what I would like to do is have Herb send a letter to our current website provider, canceling that service, canceling that website. We don't own the address, so whoever developed that website for the town years ago winded up letting the provider own the web address. So we lose that web address regardless. But now currently, the address that we have and the address that we're going to have from the government, because we're going to become a .gov, if you guys are okay with that. And then we'll have a .gov website. It'll just be recognized better, it'll be, better for clarification. Our email address, as you all know, is hard for anybody to even figure out because there's dashes and lines and everything else to it. So this way here, it's gonna be an easy, Town of New Hartford, New York.gov, with our name at, so it'd be an easy way to do that. I went, well, first things first is the town website. So if you guys give me permission to have Herb write a letter to them as of tomorrow, or I don't know if we have to give a certain amount of
I
time.
have to look at it to see
Okay.
if there's a notice requirement.
Okay, so what I wanna do is put the new website address in the paper, so people know our new web address. It's fully functional. In the next 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, I'm actually going to be administering all the stuff, all the updates, everything. Like today, there was a water main break, I put it on the website as a news feed. So it's real easy to do. So what I'm gonna do is get every department head, give them an ID and user password, so they can only use it for their department, their only section. I'm gonna give them training, and then once they're up and running, then I'm gonna step away from it. But right now, the only way to really do this without having a mess is me taking care of it for the next few weeks until everybody's on board. But we didn't lose any data, everything's up there. In fact, I added actually all the budgets, I put all that on there in a separate link. I've added some new stuff, stormwater drainage systems, that's information. I put on there, for Mud Creek, we had the survey done and things like that, so I'm gonna have a section on there to all our stormwater prevention surveys, everything's on there. I liked it for the parks, have like a map of the parks and the trails, but something a little more enhanced. So anyway, so that's what I did, so if you guys are okay with that, we'll go full bore with the new site, and we'll just keep building on there, because we can keep building and it never ends. We're gonna go down with online bill pay and all that, but we'll implement that as we go. But right now, we're ahead of where we are. Everything's in order on it, it looks nice. So if Herb finds out what we have to do for notification, I'll have him send the thing, but I'll start putting all our new minutes and everything from this day forward on our new site right now, so we have that, so.
Good.
So you'll notify the OD and our town crier.
I wanna do it in both. We'll do it in both, so everybody gets to see it, and maybe we'll do a press release also. Once the other site's completely down, we'll do a press release, and even WKTV said they would even do something for us, just saying our new website, go to it. So we'll probably call me tomorrow or something,
Sure.
and we'll figure that out. That's it for that. So, second part is .gov. It's a domain registration. I mean, as you see, like dot.gov, and it's mostly just for governments. We will own this web address in-house, so no one could ever take it away. So if administrations change, or anybody here changes, the town itself can only own it, not a personal person or a company, no one can. So I think this protects us, we would keep it forever. It would be Town of New Hartford, New York.gov. And it's $400 a year, because it's their administration fee they charge through the Jill Reed. And if you guys give me permission, we'll make a motion to do that. I would put on here also to so the administrative point of contact would be Carol Ryan. I would be the technical person, and Lisa Smithles would be the point of contact for Bill. You need 3 points. So they do it real secure, so nobody can take our address and do something with it. But, so if I can have a motion to approve this and send this letter in authorizing that.
Make a motion.
Second. Second. Okay. Motion by Jim, second by Phil. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. So I'm gonna sign this, and I'm gonna give it to Carol, she'll get it off tomorrow. All right, I wanted to bring up, me and Rick had many discussions, many meetings on this, about what we're gonna do with our issues with leaf collection. I don't know if you guys all know, but we've probably got hundreds of calls, and Rick can speak on this too. This year with all the leaf issues and, the system, the way we're doing it. We've looked into ways of doing it. I know, Jim, you're on this too. leaf trucks. Other towns, municipalities have them. You could probably get twice to 3 times the amount of mileage done in a quicker, more efficient way, a safe way. So we were looking at 2 leaf trucks, and Rick, you can tell us too, what do you think with the 2 leaf trucks? I mean, would we have the issues that we've had this year, or?
Well, this year was unique because we had a nice late fall. Leaves fell very, very late, November and into December. We currently have 4 leafers. There's three crews, 3 guys on each crew. So it takes up 12 guys. When we fill a truck up, you have to take the leafer off the truck, unhook it, go dump it, hook it back up, and go back to your site. These machines, these new machines, the city has 2 I've been watching for the last 2 years. The breakdowns are very minimal. They have 1 guy that operates it. We may have to put 2 in there to kind of, if we get a lot of stuff until we police this and get the people used to not putting other stuff into the leaves. Brush needs to be stayed with brush, leaves with leaves. It's the gentleman, the operator, runs on the passenger side with a joystick. The boom comes off the right side of the truck, and it just picks up the leaves like the gentleman that does with our leaf machines that we have now. Much faster, much efficient. It's a modern technology of doing it. The machine can be ran 2 shifts. We have LED lights on it where we run it a day shift and then an evening shift. Evening shift would be like from 2:30 to maybe like 8. You go to the site, it's like a dump truck. You push the lever, raise the bed. It's got a vibration system on it that vibrates the leaves out, and it also chips the leaves as it goes through this machine. So they're chipped, and the dump body is 25 cubic yards. So it's a larger box, it holds quite a few more leaves.
Is it compacted going in or just?
And it compacts it going in. So you go to your site, you dump it, you bring it down, close it to air tailgate, and you go back to your site. Did an average in 7 loads a shift in Utica. And again, like I say, if we ran 2 shifts, we separate the town in half. 1 truck goes, we have our routes A, B, C, D. 1 truck goes A, B, the other one does C, D.
Sure.
They work good, I see them work before. They work good, yeah, I
Yes.
see the city, you can use them.
Yes.
Yep.
They also can be used in a storm when you have debris on your catch basins. Truck goes from catch basin to catch basin and just vacuums them off. I just feel it's modern technology of picking leaves a lot faster. The people want their leaves picked, and they want them picked in a timely manner. And I think this is the way to go.
Yeah, last year obviously was an unusual year. I mean, we're gonna have that, with the leaves
Right.
falling late, but also on projects too, where hampered, us collecting those. So we had guys allocated to a different
Right.
project, where this year, you can minimize that by having 1 person, 1 operator, and going through and not have to worry about 12 guys out at a time. I've watched it, I think it's a good investment.
It's efficient, because normally you would have a full loader, dump trucks, and labor.
Right.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to look at it also. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Last year we had 2 councilmen come out with me on a Saturday, and they ran it.
Oh, yeah.
So they see what the employees go through.
I think it hurt my
Yeah.
back.
I think it's too late.
I know. But, yeah, so, getting back to that too, our system we currently have, and our machines are breaking down, and, we went for bearings. Okay,
Bearings.
signed some invoices on those, and it's expensive, I'm not saying we're not gonna have any issues, but there'll be new equipment, and to give you a little more efficient, and, Jim knows we had to attach the trailer from the truck, and it's not fun, and it's just a tough job. I think safety-wise, and I think, efficiency for the residents getting stuff done, I think, the trucks are a good idea, so.
I think this goes along with a lot of the improvements that Rick has done over the years. He has really proved to be innovative, and
100%.
He's done a great job. I think we need to support this.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, the deal that he's been doing, I mean, we just did a skid steer deal, and he sold the skid steer and he picked up another one under contract for pennies on the dollar, because, you know, he's buying them right, and every 2 years he's trading them in, and he has people buying them that aren't buying at state contract prices, so he's picking up that you know, that fluctuation right there, which is a large amount. I think Rick just did the skid steer deal, he saved like $8,000 from, you know, from doing that. And we got a brand new piece of equipment now that has tracks on it that we can use to clean our retention ponds. So, you know, those are the things, you know, we gotta look at, and as we grow and we trade our equipment in, you know, every 2 years or 3 years, you know, we're getting good money for it, instead of letting it sit for 10, 12 years, and then when it's scrapped and we're sending it over to the junkyard, you know, so I think that's really been working out well for Rick, and it's a
What
great
makes
job.
skid steer?
What do you buy?
Pardon?
What makes?
Bobcat.
Bobcat?
Yes.
Yeah, he got it, so we have retention ponds in our area, and we have to clean and mow them. So we really have no way to do it, because we have equipment, so he bought a skid steer with with brush hog in the front of it, so we can clean them and maintain them, which is key, because we had a lot of issues last year that we had to take care of, and we didn't have one, so it was good. But those for leaf trucks. Also too, another thing, we talked about this at the table many times, is an excavator. Last year, you know, we spent over $850,000 subcontracting out, you know, cleaning ditches, fixing, repairing. You know, our guys are more than capable. You know, I spoke to them down at DPW to take care of most of this work, if they had the right equipment to do it. I mean, this would be cleaning out cricks, you know, putting in storm drain systems, you know.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea. You should have ditch and buckets with it, you should have grapples with it.
Right. Yeah,
You should have it.
yeah, I think we would save tons of money, because I remember last year that the rumor was it was $110 an hour, but it's way more than that when it all comes into it. And, you know, we've seen that through our invoices throughout the year. So, I mean, with this excavator, not only that we can do it when we have major flood issues in town, and when we, you know, we have emergencies that we can get right out there,
Right.
but we could probably save ourselves a lot of money on you know, retention ponds, and again, just cleaning out the creek alone. And, I mean, perfect example, that job was done down in Mud Creek years ago. I mean, we could have did that in-house when they put the extra tributary in. So that was another thing we were looking at. I think it would be a benefit to us, especially with all the stormwater issues. We spoke about it. Another thing that we looked at was the compactor trucks. I know you see everybody in the summertime, they're unhappy with the way we pick up brush, with the big loader that we have. You know, it hurts our streets. We're paying big dollars replacing tires, because we're driving all over town with it. If we had a compactor trucks, I spoke with Rick, we'll be able to pick up brush with compactor trucks. I think Whitesboro does it, right?
Whitesboro has been doing it for years. They're just a little smaller than the town of New Hartford. They have two. I went and watched them for a couple of weeks this summer. He says, Rick, why haven't you been doing this? This works for us.
Right.
Again, splitting the town in half and having the brush, it'll be a little bit of policing to get the constituents used of these brush piles. Some people go out there and they pick up the brush off their lawn and they put a little pile out. We get them to put it in a basket or a garbage can, so we can come back and we just dump. This truck would be out every day. It would be in front of your house weekly. Instead of every 2 weeks, I can see it coming in front of your house weekly. So the amount of brush being out there would be minimal compared to what we do now. The loaders, we take the brush and we pick it up with a loader, we put it in a brush truck, we take it to SR Sloan's if he's available. If he's not available, it goes to our yard behind us and we stockpile it. And then we bring in a big chipper, tub grinder, and we grind it. So then it takes manpower and loaders to load that grinder and then push it away from the grinder. And then we pile it. And then in the winter months, we have to take that pile and get rid of it to the nurseries take it. So we're touching this brush 4 times. Where if we have the compactor, we put it in the compactor, we compact it, and instead of only having 2 ton, 2.5 ton of brush, we get 10 ton of brush. And we take it down to the county waste site, and we get rid of it, we handle it once. Again, modern technology, the time saved alone. We've already been contacted with the Oneida County Solid Waste. There was a big discussion, the amount of brush that we do have. They found a way to handle us with the town of New Hartford's brush. They don't want our leaves, and our leaves we compost. So with our brush going down there and handling it once, I just think it's a tremendous, again, the constituents they call, they want, when is my brush being picked up? And I think these 2 areas of leaves and brush alone will help this town tremendously and give it the what they're looking for, the service.
Just saying upon that, I know we looked into this before, not to say we're going to get into buying containers.
Right.
But, I mean, is there a way, since we have a pretty large town, we're able to buy these containers and sell them to residents at the cost, by volume, you know what I mean? So we'll have the consistent container out there and whatever this may cost. Because I've seen it, some of the residents, in my district, they do put them in the garbage cans they get and so forth. But maybe if you had a uniform, if you bought a X amount at a volume, discount, and then have that part of the process. Again, that's going to be the educational part to come.
Right.
Get the container, get the highway garage, and off we go.
Even tying it up, again, down in the valley, they tie it up, people put it out, they take it, I mean, it's work, it's not a process, they say, well, just, there's no way it's gonna happen, I mean, it does work in most communities, pick it up that way, so.
Does the brush have to be in like 4-foot lengths?
Yes,
That
yes.
is 4 foot.
Yeah. But again, we put out that newsletter or schedule every spring. There'll be some,
Yeah.
teaching the constituents what we need to do here. One thing I did fail to say is the grant on these trucks. DEC has a grant. It's 50-50. When we buy a truck, they'll pay for the second truck. We have to wait about 2.5 to 3 years to get our reimbursement back. The other thing that we would be looking at is what do you do in a large storm where we're getting numerous trees come down? We don't own a chipper. Again, that chipper is on DEC grant, and they'll help pay for that chipper. They give you grant money towards it. The containers you're talking about, they also pay for those.
Yeah,
So it's all in this grant program.
Yeah, yeah, Rick looked it up, it was a great program, and I did a little cost analysis worksheet, and I'll hand it out to you guys on what it costs us too for labor out there when we're doing it the way we're doing it, because again, we got a guy running a machine that's getting twice the money than a guy that's just gonna be hauling stuff in the back, so really, for the 4 guys we got out there, it's really like having 5 guys that are laborers, so it's a big cost, and it's just inefficient, and again, the biggest thing is we're beating that machine up that's, $150,000, riding it around town when it shouldn't even really be on, it's not really a pavement machine, so, we're gonna save money there too on maintenance and fixing, so Rick said too about the chippers, so that's on grant too, so that was one of the things I had in my list, was, the two compactor trucks, the excavator, the 2 leaf trucks, the chipper, and then also he has a plow truck that's in the garage. What was it, 93, Rick?
No, it's a 2000.
No, I mean, truck number 93.
Truck 93, it's a
Yeah.
10-wheel. It's our first 10-wheel that we bought when we bought the first sewer truck.
So speaking with the guys, because I went down to DPW, I spoke to the mechanics, see what they were doing and how they were doing it. It's a truck that's been giving us constant problems over time, and it's been costing us a lot of money. And Rick telling me that truck might, bring 95 to 115K if we auctioned it off. And if we can upgrade those to the new trucks, they love the new trucks. They've been great, low maintenance. I think they're stainless steel, so they're not rusting out. So that was another thing we brought up. And then also we brought up too was I went down there and talked to the guys. So the chief brings his cars down for repairs, oil changes. That also they have their own equipment. I guess parks. Everybody brings codes. They got one lift down there. So if they have a truck or something on the one lift, it's sitting there and they can't do anything else. So my idea was the lifts are pretty inexpensive. I mean, they're $4,200. If we give the guys a lift or two, while they have a truck up that they're changing maybe a rear end or bearing system or whatever, on the other side they can bring in a police car maybe and do an oil change and a brake job real quick. While they have downtime waiting for a part, they can get that car out there more efficiently and quicker. So, that was another thing. And the tools that they have down there, I mean, I got to give those guys, a pat on the back because it's tools that they're working with down there. I don't even know how they're fixing half the trucks. I mean, Rick, he's seen it. I mean, they're finally getting a snap-on machine after all these years, so to diagnose vehicles. So, for them to get some new tools for the Mack trucks and different stuff to make it, again, that they can work on them and things like that, that cost around like $6,000 for, the right tools for them to get the job done a little more efficient and easier. So these are things I wanted to bring to you. I'll get you guys the cost analysis on the leaf trucks and the compactors.
With that lifts, because we ordered the portable,
Right.
is that the same lifts or is that a different lift? we're talking about?
It's different. That's for
the-
medium and heavy.
Okay.
These are smaller for police cars and your smaller pickups.
Yeah, I'd like to see chief's cars get in and out of there a little more efficient. They're sitting in the back, and again, it's not that the guys don't want to do it, but if you got one truck on a lift and you got nowhere to put it, you can't get underneath those cars and do an oil change, you know what I mean? So I just think they can get them in and out quicker and a little more efficient, so that's how I'm looking at it, so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so I mean, they're $4,200 installed, done, and they'll get double the work done. The guys told me, I mean, they want to work, they're doing a hell of a job with what they got, so. Yeah, I mean, he's had them for years, and they make sense. So those are some things that, if you guys want to look at a capital improvement project, I think the town really needs it. I think we needed it a long time ago. And, again, to get the things done that we talked about all summer with flooding and picking up leaves efficiently and picking up people's, trash for the annual trash pickup and, again, getting the cars in and out of there quicker, I think that, we have to give it a strong consideration and look at that, so.
So you're gonna come back with the analysis and.
Yeah, I'll hand you the analysis beforehand, you guys can take a look at it, and then, you can discuss it in the meeting, I'm thinking next meeting, let's make a decision to say, we going ahead and getting this stuff done, or you say, well, it's not, so. But, I just wanted to bring it up to everybody and go over that, because I thought that was one of the most important things of, my going around, so. Couple more things, the lease is up at the senior center. I got the prices here. If you guys would like, I would like to try to renegotiate the lease to try to get a little better price on it. I mean, currently right now, per square foot for the hours that we're there, we pay more than average retail and commercial drive. So if you guys like, I'd like to see if we can renegotiate that, because we're only using it from 9:30 to 3, Monday through Friday. So we really don't have much time there using it, and the current rate is, let's see, we did the last one at 10 years and it was over 17, and current yearly rent is $27,086 for that.
Annual?
Yeah.
What's your price per square?
For the year it was like $23 a square foot. So, because again, I took into consideration, you gotta take the time, so I took 12-hour day, 24-hour day, and I took the time that we're there, we only had it for so long. So it's pretty hefty to pay, so we might be able to renegotiate that if you guys want me to, I will, So I'll call them then, and then we'll have another lease, and we'll see, wanna go maybe a shorter time too?
What was it, about 10 years?
Well, this one was 10 years, I say we just go year to year. Fair enough?
Yeah, that seems fine.
Okay.
Year to year.
All right, so I'll do that. I have here, agreement between the town of New Hartford and Public Library, for services, that needs to be signed. Rick, probably you can tell us, more for the services that you do for the library?
Library?
Yeah.
We, buildings and grounds, they go in and change light bulbs, fix doors, windows, faucets outside in the summertime, small maintenance items.
Wow.
We plow in the winter time, and we sand, the driveway in the parking lot. Carson, on the park side does, the sidewalks and salts the sidewalks, right? In the
We
winter.
do the plowing on the
And
weekdays.
plow on the weekends. Yeah,
Mow the lawn? We mow the lawn,
yeah.
do all any tree work or anything like that, we do all that.
Okay, so if you guys authorize me to sign this, I think it does have to go back to the library because my name isn't on here, so they would have to retype this up because it has Pat's name on here for that. So if you guys want, I can have it retyped up and I can sign this.
Need a motion, I'll make it.
Okay, motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Jim. Discussion,
No discussion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye. Do you want to get that changed for me, I'll sign it?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Just want to add, I want to thank Gail for getting the 2018 tax bills out before December 31st. That was a great job. Most towns didn't do that, because I tried, but she made it happen, so that was actually great. A lot of residents were thankful for that.
Just a question, how many did you have that paid in advance? Do you have a figure, a ballpark?
Probably in excess of 300.
Plus, she collected them. She had to gear up in a matter of days and collect them herself.
That was the first one I liked.
Yeah.
No, she did.
No wonder you were late for the swearing in.
Oh, you're gonna kill it.
That's fabulous, that's great.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Well,
'Cause
it-
people
my
call me if,
staff were a big help, too.
Yeah.
All right, some unfinished stuff here, just wanted to talk about. So we did the cell towers, Sherrillbrook, the senior center lease we did. M8 Pulse's contract came up for 2018. I'm supposed to meet with them. If you guys would like, just to see what we get, would you guys like to go out for bid for that at least and just see what we come in with and what kind of designs and things that somebody would propose? I think it's good just to put it out there and see. Because currently now we got old technology. We have, outdated stuff. Maybe if we put an RFP to see what company comes in, what they have for an idea for us, town-wide, from servers to computers to software. We can at least take a look at that. It'll give us some insight. And then, we go from there. I know the police department chief, I know you guys use Pulse and you guys are very happy, but we might even be able to do something that they do just, full-fledged for the police department. I know going down the road, our webmail, I would like to go through Google like the school district does. It's as secure as it could be. We don't have to have the hardware on site. You have 24/7 technical support online and also by phone with them. The school district, I spoke to them, very happy with the system that they have. And it's fully functional from any phone. So that's gonna take a lot of the issues off of Pulse for the town itself. But the police department, there's a lot of stuff that chief has that he needs done over there that not anyone can take over. So I don't know, Chief, you have any comments on?
I think we have so many systems that need to operate together, and, where Posey comes in is they've been doing it for so long now. They know how to hook up our fingerprint system with our records management system, with the downloads from the 911 center, with the connectivity from our cars into our station and so forth. There's so many things that go together, so many different software packages from different suppliers that all have to work together. And a lot of times when our system goes down, Polsey has the knowledge to come in and start to troubleshoot, where companies coming in off the street would have no idea how this system is all put together. I think the supervisor, probably hit the nail on the head. A whole new system design obviously is gonna work a lot much better together, but I'm not sure how quick we can make that jump on the police end of it, because we have so many different systems intertwined.
So also me and Chief did a run through of everything. We spent a couple hours together and went through the servers that they had, all the computers, everything they currently have. Most of the servers that he has are outdated. They're probably gonna need of an upgrade. I mean, some of them are 7, 8 years old, Chief?
Yeah.
Hard drives are going. We have some issues over there. They've never been upgraded, never been touched, and it's kinda just been added on and on and on and added on. So I brought a consultant with me, a friend of mine, and we went through it, and, he had a lot of good ideas for the chief. But right now, for the cost, we probably just have to fix what we have. So maybe Posey would be, again, good for the chief, because someone else coming in new is not gonna be able to get back in there and revamp the mess that he currently has. So maybe that would be that, but for the actual town itself, I mean, we got a pretty easy network to run. I've looked at everything that we have, basic routers, switches, servers, I mean, nothing out of the realm. So maybe we can look at, again, just doing a deal for the police department with them, and then for our town, see who's gonna come in with a nice innovative idea to upgrade things and, get us in the 21st century. So again, if you guys wanna think about that till the next meeting on the 17th, think about it, talk to the department heads, any, concerns, and, we'll meet with Polsey and, we can meet with other companies and see what they got to offer, so.
Sure.
Is that good, Gage? Okay. All right, planning board vacancies, we're gonna try to get a hold of Julius, and then also to look at the other resumes that came in. Sequoia Creek Basin, intermunicipal agreement. I don't know what's going on with that, because I got a letter in the mail to renew, and, we don't have it in the budget, so.
I thought we already,
I thought
we did renew it.
I thought we did.
I thought we got out of it.
We got out of it,
Yeah.
but all of a sudden I got a phone call from the secretary of the commission stating that she received a check from the town of New Hartford for $36,000, maybe, and some change. That was probably a month or two ago, correct?
So I guess everybody I spoke to don't know what that's about, and
I thought we got out of it a year
The
ago.
first thing I heard about it is she said, "Congratulations, Pat sent a check and we're back in it."
What, this was recently?
Yeah,
Was that before the last board meeting, wasn't it? Around that last board meeting?
so I don't know where we stand, I really don't.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring it to you guys, because again, it was on my desk today, and I got a phone call, and we don't have it in the budget, so I don't know how we can do that, and I don't know how the 36,000 went out for last year. So, I wanted to just bring it up, and
Did they cash the check?
so I think police is looking into that, but,
When it was paid last year.
it was paid last year, but it wasn't in the budget. And it wasn't in a budgeted amount, and it's not budgeted this year, so I can't renew something that we don't have the money for. So if you guys are okay, I was gonna write them a nice letter, just say, that it wasn't in the budget for this year, and we weren't, I don't know how we would come up with the money.
Yeah, I'd find out,
How that happened. board paid them.
Well, if we paid it in the fall of last year, what did we pay for it?
Last year.
Last year's dues.
Oh,
No, was it in the fall or was it last week?
No, because they want us to rejoin this year.
Okay.
They paid last year.
She talked to me maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. And I ran into her and she said, congratulations, you're back on again. So again, I had no discussion, I don't know anything about it.
So we paid 17, at the end of 17, for 17, that we really,
We didn't participate.
We did participate.
that was foolish.
so roll it over to 18.
Yeah, that's
Call
what I
it
would,
even.
if I was gonna write a letter, that's what you'd say, listen, you know.
We thought,
I'll write whatever you guys, like I said, no one knows.
well, it's not in the 18 budget either.
Right, exactly, so we can't even, right, so if they wanna give us a free year at 18, that's fine, but we don't have the money to do it, so just,
Well, I think the other question is, and I would ask for input, should we be part of that? I know at some point, whether it be 19, 20, or should we still be part of it?
They do a lot of grant writing, they get a lot of grants through the county. They did quite a few jobs in New Hartford. The last couple of jobs has been in the town of Paris. They did a job down in Whitesboro, the village of Whitesboro.
And when that started, it actually encompassed quite a ways south of here. I mean, Clayville, Castro,
It
Savoy.
still
It still does. Are they still in the program?
Yes.
Do they pay the same amount?
No.
That's,
When I first started in 2009, New Hartford was paying like $93,000 a year. And then over the years, it went down to in the 34, 35,000.
So the big ones are New Hartford and Whitestown?
New Hartford, Whitestown.
Is the city in it also?
City
should be.
Should be, and I believe they are. York, Village of York Mills, Village of New Hartford. Town of Paris, Clayville.
Was Roger Cleveland part of that at some point?
Yes, he was. He was the one that
Started.
started this.
Send them a nice letter.
okay, I will. I'll write it up and I'll send it out this week. So if they wanna give us 18, you know, on the arm, then we'll go with that.
Maybe Dan checks to see if there was a check that was.
Yeah, I wanna,
let's find that out
see
first.
what,
Well, they said they got, when I talked to, I wrote it down, it's, they did get paid. And they wanna know if we were all set for this year too. So, just tell me whatever might be.
Lisa was starting to look into it.
Yeah, yep. Just ask her. I didn't get a hold of her again today because it was this afternoon, so. Okay, another thing is Visions Hotel. They have a retainer fee of $66,246.96. Joe, did they finish and complete everything up to par?
Work's complete.
Everything's complete, so,
Make a motion to
Second.
second. Motion by Rich, second by Dave, discussion.
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, so that comes down. I don't know, do you wanna write a letter for them?
Yeah.
and send it?
Hello? I'm in a meeting, can I call you back?
Okay, so it's a quick, stormwater, Nider Street, okay, stormwater issues we still have. Nider Street near Busy Bee, we have an issue that's there. We have one on Lower Woods Road. In fact, me, Rick, and Jim D'Onofrio are gonna go up there, take a look at that with one of the engineers from the county. In fact, that might be one of the ones that the county takes on for that $2 million grant that they were issuing. So that would be a great one, because me and Jim actually this summer were up on Lower Woods with the flooding with those residents and Robbins Road and stuff, so that's one. The Cussworth Ravine, very important. I guess there's some issues there that people are afraid of Oneida Street. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's one of the, major issue. That might be something we can look into also for the grant. And then Compton Road, I'm not familiar with that one, but maybe Dave is on that.
Well, again, the retention behind Foxcroft would impact Compton also. So that should be looked at, the retention area behind Foxcroft, that
Okay.
whole side hill.
Okay, all right, so if that's included in there also, I know Jimmy brought Compton Road up to us, and Lower Woods were the two, he brought up were major issues that he gets a lot of calls on. So the county came up with the grant for the $2 million grant every year, right, Rick? It's every year. And if you have something that's shovel-ready, engineer approved, ready to go, you could submit it towards this grant. So some of these here, I don't know if you wanna,
I currently got it submitted for phase 2 on Grange Hill. It is shovel ready, it went out to bid. The only thing that we're missing that they wanna see is the permitting for us for Sequoia Creek. We're not going in the creek, but we'll be disturbing its bank, and that's where we'll be starting when we lay the new pipe for phase 2. So that is currently in the process for that grant. Just waiting. I have a meeting next week with DEC, with Chris Lawton, to move forward on the DEC part of it and the permitting. Once I get that, then that is complete for an application for that grant money.
okay, so we'll look into those, if any other ones that you have in the future years, if you wanna start thinking about projects, and get them shovel ready, that's something we can look into. The FEMA buyout program, we've been getting contracts back, Carol's been giving them to me, we've been signing some of them, for people that have been accepting them. There was 4 people that are out, so there's 11 left, that are still in the program. We're still waiting for a few more to come back. Some federal came back, some state came back. So we've been getting them in little by little. We've been calling the residents down to the office. We're giving them time if they need it, if they're excited with the number. We notarize them right there, and we send the contracts back out. So once we have all those, we're pretty much all set. We have to go out, to get the next phase started. So maybe by this next 17th meeting, we'll have all the contracts in and we'll be ready to move ahead. So that's just an update on that. Okay, got all those things finished up. And then there's another thing, Barton and Judas couldn't make it tonight. Chris was gonna come. Stormwater districts. We came out, Rick was there, we took a look at how can we maintain and solve some of the stormwater district or stormwater issues that we have in everybody's district and make everyone happy equally around the town. So we came up with district programs for each part. Some are south of Sequoia, some are north, some are near Mud Creek. But we came out with that, and we came out that there would be each area would have their own district, and it would, every year they would pay into the district, but it would maintain retention ponds in their areas, storm drains, storm water, and also projects too that we work on. So like say we have this excavator, and we went over and took care of issue in the creek in one of the districts, it would come from that. So we would have the money to get these problems taken care of on a regular basis, and the maintenance of them too. So I'm gonna see if Chris can come next meeting to talk about that. But that might be something that'll help us out a lot, because in the commercial district area too, if we go by assessment, we might be able to get a lot of projects done in those areas. So, if you guys want, I'll set them up to come in the next meeting, go over the different districts.
Would we be looking at Herb to create districts like this?
Well, you would have to go forward, and he would have to create the geographic boundaries of the special districts and an improvement plan, which would estimate the cost of the improvements. Because remember when we went forth with the water district, and when the residents saw what the cost was, it was prohibitive.
Right.
So that's what we need to talk to him about in terms of defining how he's gonna go forward with a plan and what specific improvements, or is he just gonna have the districts created with some nominal fund paid on an annual basis by the property owners to create a fund for future projects? So that's what we need to go forward and see.
I think we gotta look at maintenance over time, because again, the maintenance, if we did this, a lot of the maintenance could be done for each district. You know, again, cleaning retention ponds, cleaning, you know, and putting in new drainage, that needs attention.
Well, wouldn't the maintenance fall under the town anyways? I mean, as far as we're paying the salaries anyways for the people who go up and do the work, but not.
Well,
the carry.
we would charge them to the districts, because actually, Rick doesn't have to do any drainage if he doesn't want to, because it's really not part of the DPW. You know, drainage is a whole separate.
We're not a Department of Public Works,
Exactly,
we're a highway department.
right. So,
So cleaning the retention ponds is obviously.
it's not really Rick's department, but if he does do it, at least he could charge back to these, you know, these certain areas. But here's the thing, the only reason to do this is to make everything fair. So if they're working on a project, you know, in one area, the whole town is not paying for it, but the whole town's paying for the leaf trucks that are gonna take care of the town. So that's how I look at it, is, you know, is use the money that comes in with our town tax for town-wide projects, you know, and then drainage and maintenance of certain areas, that would be on the areas that have the most, you know, issues that need to be taken care of too.
And I think we need to look and see whether or not the district can be created for maintenance purposes, or whether it has to be for improvements, because usually they're improvement districts. And you have a set plan of monies that are expended for the improvements, but,
It'd be similar to the sewer district today.
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, going forward, again, we have to take care of the issues. People wanted that all summer when we had the storm. But if we leave things just the way they are and we don't do this, there's no way to take care of them, because we don't have the means to.
It's just gonna fall apart.
Exactly. So we gotta come up with an idea, and I thought that would work, because again, you know, like for Sangertown Mall area, all that area over there, there's a lot of projects we can work on, and they'll be able to participate in that, you know, so.
Get some kind of maintenance plan.
Well, that's the key, but again, yeah, but the maintenance plan will be in the drainage districts. You know, you would have a plan for those, like, you know, I have like 6, 7 retention ponds in your new district, and, you know, it was tough getting them done all year long, and they get overgrown and everything, and, you know, again, we might put them on parks, we might put them on DPW, but if they don't get done, the thing is, they didn't get done. You know, it doesn't matter who we give it to. But if we have these drainage districts, even if we have to sub those jobs out, there's money there to pay for them, you know, but they still are getting done, because that's the key. When the flood happens, no one cared about, you know, who was doing what and how and where the money, they just wanted it fixed and, you know, taken care of. So, you know, we have to do something, and that's the only idea that I can come up with that makes sense, and it makes it fair for everybody in the town to pay for what's getting done in front of their house. I mean,
So I need to determine the tax, if you will.
That's what he's
Based
saying.
on the plan,
It's-
what the cost is.
yeah, well, it's based on your assessment. So, for instance, you know, Sangertown, of course, you know, they have a large assessment, it would be paid more than the little house down the street. But again, they have more permeable space.
The same as any district.
Right. So, and really, if you look at, you know, correlations of assessment to permeable space and land, they kind of go in line anyway. So,
The only thing you gotta make sure of is that I would think that even a special district tax is gonna be subject to the 2% tax cap every year.
right,
So you can only, there's only so much you can, I just wanna throw that out.
yeah. But the initial amount would be there to do the maintenance plan. So again, Barton and Judas said they can come out with exact numbers, what it would be in each district, and what you know, what it would be, but it would just go towards that. So even if it just went towards maintenance, and then you wanted to do, again, a big project, and everybody agreed, listen, we need this done, like, you know, you have a retention pond up there, that district might say, you know, we're flooding our houses, everybody, it's hurting 200 people, we're in for getting this done. We can go out and say, all right, let's bond for that district, and they would pay it a separate tax instead of the whole town-wide paying for one project, you know? So that's all I'm looking at is, again, keep our town tax and our you know, our whole town money, keep that towards what everybody benefits from. You know, if it's leaves, if it's, you know, brush collection, whatever that might be, but keep that, you know, policing, whatever it might be, keep that towards, you know, our regular everyday necessities that we need, and then the stormwater drainage and stuff, you know, tax that for the area that you're in. So again, just my idea, I mean, everybody I want to look at it, but, you know, maybe Bartlett and Judas can come in and at least give you guys an idea of, you know.
That's okay. That's good, so.
Yeah,
We won't be at the 17th meeting, so if it's possible, make it the first February meeting, that'd be great.
yeah, it's fine.
Just want to be a part of that.
Okay. And then we do have actually some drainage districts that were done that Herb gave me and looked over. So we'd have to dissolve those if we came up with these, because we can't have them overlap and everything. And a lot of the drainage districts that I looked into were small areas that, you know, really don't have any, I mean, they have issues, but it's too small to even do anything, so.
It wasn't a taxing district, though, was it?
I don't remember, I don't even remember giving them.
No, I mean, we didn't tax from it, but.
Here, did I give you those?
Rick,
Oh, Rick,
but I
okay.
remember.
I know I'm getting old.
No.
Wow.
You didn't write
But you
a
seen
check
them, I
just
showed them.
equate-
to you.
Yeah.
You didn't write a
No.
check, just equate basic.
The missing check, but no. So, all right. So that was it. So think about it, I'll set it up for the first, let them come in, let them give us a demonstration to see where we can go with it, but I think that would be a big help. And again, if we're on a maintenance schedule of cleaning a lot of this stuff, it's gonna take a lot of stress off Rick's department, you know, and the town as a whole. Because again, if they're not, you know, even if we have to sub it out, Rick's guys could still go do the leaves for everybody, but we could still get progress done with stormwater, so. I had so many things, but, no, that was the major, those were the major ones. Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up, our park system. I didn't know if you guys are interested, I was thinking of doing a parks commission, get people that really care about the parks, really want to see change at the parks, and that would be able to put time in, and maybe we could start upgrading the parks. I went around to a couple businesses and people, made some phone calls. Dick's Sporting Goods is one of them. In a lot of areas, they, you know, if they're able to put signage in the parks, they buy bleachers, they buy all kinds of upgrades. There's a lot of grants out there for parks that we could be getting. You know, that's something that we need to do because, again, money's tight, and, I mean, you've seen parks, we showed you pictures. We went to it, me and Rich walked it, I think Dave, you've seen pictures, you know, Jim, you've seen pictures and walked it. And many of the parents and people did too. So I think it's time that, you know, we really take a hard look at the parks. And, you know, it's one of our assets, and I think we really need to improve on it. And the only way to do that is to get a strong group of people that really want to put their time in to care about the parks. And I think a commission for parks works in a lot of other areas, and they get a lot of benefit out of it. And a lot of the people on there, you know, actually go and get, you know, grants and things. And a lot of the grants for the parks really isn't a lot of paperwork. It's pretty much calling up Dick's Sports and getting a couple pages, filling them out. I mean, there's one for First Source. We have $30,000 to bring innovation into parks or any educational thing. Again, it's just paperwork and going over, I mean, and speaking to them and doing those kind of things. And I think that if we could get people on that trail, or even if I find grants and things that I could do, at least I have somebody that I can give them to that will, you know, kind of out, seeing for the future, so, that's something that,
Yeah, I'm all for that. I think if you go down that road and you talk about grants and so forth, the park has been the same for years.
Right.
I think we look at this, look at it as a whole, do it right. Maybe we might reconfigure some fields and so forth, or, I know you and I talked about an amphitheater or something, something that you're gonna bring more to that park.
right.
So I think if we go down that road, I think if we're not too big, but, that's a time to figure stuff out.
But those are the things that bring communities together, and if you charge a few dollars to do something like that, if somebody has somewhere to go, there's gonna be a line out the door. If you look at any of those little indoor sports places around here, they're packed, they're booked, if you had a real nice facility at the park for birthday parties for kids, trust me, people would go, they would use it, even our gazebo and everything, it's had its day, it needs upgrade, and if we don't do it now, it's only gonna get worse, it's not gonna get any better, so, and again, I think a commission that would take a little pride in it, I think, would actually, help, because if they go to the park and they see an issue, or they see something, they'll bring it to the board, or they'll make a decision to get it done and fixed. And I think that's, going forward, that's where we need to be on that line. Again, you guys, I say we post at least in the paper, maybe we can make a motion tonight, let's post to start a Parks Commission, and, put the paperwork together, maybe Herb can put some.
See how we have to do it legally?
Yeah, legally, and then, let's see, let's bring some people up. You never know, there's tons of people, look at the library board, the Friends of the Library, they love their library, and they're always concerned and wanna be part of it. And then if I think we had that for the parks, I think that would, that'd bring a lot, at least new ideas, and at least, we'll know what's going on there, so. So Herb, did we make a motion to?
To have me go forward to research creating a Parks Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dave, second by Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Favor. Aye.
Okay, thank you, guys. All right, every letter trainer, you can do a letter trainer for the internet, right? Okay, guys, the phone system. So before, what would happen is, all the phone system, we would call for a councilman, it would go through Carol, they had to email you, or it would go to a voicemail, some could check it, some couldn't, we had a lot of issues with that. What I did was, I asked everybody, but now it's in effect, I didn't ask her though, but I did it anyway. All the phones now, when somebody calls here and puts your extension in, it goes directly to your cell phone. And then you could take your calls on that voicemail. So you don't need to come into town and dial into the phone or do any of that anymore. It'll automatically come to voicemail. Phil, I gotta do yours.
Okay.
And everybody else has one, and you're getting a new phone number, so. But I'll finish that up this week. And then I just think it's easier, and then, again, it doesn't, you're not third party and all this information. If a resident wants to get to you, it's right to you. It doesn't go through Carol, then it goes through the phone, then it goes to your email, and then, so I did that, I just wanted to bring that up. Next question is, Rick has a clerk, a secretary that works for him, Candy. She's gonna be going in the back, I guess for now. She has a 90-day interim that she can come back at any time. I told Rick, we talked about hiring a new person, I said, I don't know about you, but I would feel terrible to hire somebody, even if you tell them up front, they like their job, they wanna stay here, and then Candy wants to come back in 30 days, and now you have to get rid of that person. So my suggestion to Rick was, Hey Sung works for the parks, she's good with the POs, I've seen her POs come through, and I think she's very capable of handling. If maybe we can merge those two for right now, just currently, until Candy figures out if she's coming back or not, and after the 90 days, then Rick can go out and fully fledged to hire somebody full-time, and then, Hasan will go back to just doing parks only. Again, I don't know if you guys are in favor of that, but I think it would just, save us time, money, and people's feelings, so.
Sure.
So is that okay for Rick?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just need somebody to do, payroll,
I don't
POs,
know.
vouchers.
I don't know where she, Carson, I don't know, would you be able to let her go to DPW and work out of that office, for the time being, or?
I don't know. I
Okay,
mean, it's first I heard of it, so.
okay, all right. So let's look at that and see where we go. If we could do that, then we'll, or if she can't do it, then maybe we'll pick somebody else in town that can maybe do both areas right now until we figure out, which way Candy's going, so. Alright, so that was for that, and then, it's pretty much, that's all I had, so far, and then the last thing, want you guys, if you're interested, as you know, the Gander Mountain is vacant. It's 50,000 square foot steel building, 230 spaces. As you know, we'd like to upgrade our municipality if we could, to a safer, more efficient environment. This building would be more than enough square footage. I know we looked at the last one, it was around 30,000. This, we can include all our records, our policing, our courts, have enough spaces. It's built, it's ready to go, so it's a third of the cost that it would be if we built just a building that's currently there. The only issue with it is that there's a deed restriction on it from Kohl's that it has to be a big box retail store. But if you guys want to think about it, if you're interested in it, I can look into it a little bit more and see if that's something that they can work out. And then if they could work that out, look at price, and then look at also too what the build-out cost would be. I know right now there's a lot of Homeland Security grants and a bunch of grants that are out there that would take on a lot of the costs. But for that kind of square footage of a building and what we need to put into it, we could never pay for a building that kind of size and upgrade like that, in the future or even now, if we built it from scratch, from site up. So, I looked at it too also because it's close to the 840 ramp. It's in the area of a commercial district. It doesn't put any pressure on residents, so it wouldn't be in the backyard of anybody's house. It's already a retail commercial area, and also too, there's restaurants there and things for people to do if they come to courts or whatever. They would have somewhere to go. Or if you brought a developer in town or you brought anybody, it's in an area that's it's our shopping district. Also too, from there down the road, if somebody had more imagination, you can actually extend the sidewalks there to the trails that are on 840. Or if more development came in the business park, it could go upstream from there and you'd be in the center of all that. Your plumbing's there, your sprinkler systems are there, everything's there. It's pretty much just an interior build out, it's a spec, and then, again, as we move forward, we can take a look at that. But at least it doesn't impact any residents in the backyards, because I know last time I think we brought something up that impacted a lot of people over in your district, Jim, buying the library, so it didn't work out and stuff. But looking around the town, anywhere we would put it would impact residents. This year is already, there's not real impact to anybody. And what's nice, it's close to 840, so, police cars are there, whatever, they can hop on there and get across town pretty quickly.
Doesn't hurt to look into it, doesn't cost you anything.
No, there's no cost. I would do the legwork. I would call them and see if they would even, take off the deed restrictions first. And then if they say yes, then we gotta really, we would look at, what it would cost, what grants we can get, you know, where it'd be cost-wise. But I mean, with that kind of square footage, we would be a one-stop shop for, we could keep our records there, Gail doesn't have to drive down to get a folder, and we'd have all the record storage we would need.
Parking, ton of parking.
Yeah.
It's easy to get to, everybody knows where it is.
And our courts right now need parking, you know, we upgrade our courts, make them safer. There's court grants out there, I mean, there's police grant, I mean, there's so many grants and money that you can get.
I think we definitely have to do something at some, at some point, because of the other locations. Just, as a sidebar thing, I mean, we have the soccer field by the highway garage, just something to consider.
Yeah, no, listen,
Just put everything on the table.
No, I would love that, but again, the only reason I'm even looking this is cost.
Third of the cost.
So, I mean, you got a $2 million purchase price for a building that would cost us, because we gotta use state labor rates, about $5.5 million just to build what's there. Then add the additional build out in the inside. So when we looked at 30,000 square feet, that building's cost would have been about $7.5 million. This is 50,000 square foot. And between the grants, looking at it, I mean, you're probably looking, you're gonna be into it for $2.5, $3 million all said and done, if that. It depends how many more grants you could get. So that's the only problem about build, plus that $7.5 million was only 30,000 square, this is 50. And this is 4.3 acres, which I don't believe, Rick, you don't have that much for parking over there, plus you need green space, so. I mean, that parking lot alone's probably, $500,000. So that's the only thing, so that's why I looked at it and I thought, wow, that'd be a great spot, for everybody. But
Oh, absolutely.
They saved up 6 years to throw all this stuff at you.
So if you guys want it, I can look into it further. If nothing happens with it, then nothing happens, but at least I can ask them and see. They might not even take the deed restriction off and you can't do it anyway, but again, cost savings, I mean, not only that, it's an asset in the community, it's only gonna go up in value, really. I mean, it's not gonna go down any, I mean, you're right in the middle of the commercial district, so.
So you can lose the sales tax on that property, right?
Well, we lost it anyway, they're out of business.
Well, no.
It's like the tax rate.
Well, like what we're saying. But I would definitely move forward and take a look.
So, yeah. But if we sell the police station currently, then that would go on the tax rolls, so it's only time they're a vacant store, so you know what happens when you got a vacant store, you're not making any money. Certiorari's coming up, so I mean,
They already filed bankruptcy.
Okay. So they got a nightmare going on over there, so, so maybe we could buy it a good deal.
Sure.
And then go from there. Again, like I said, we could never build that building for 50,000 square, it cost us $5.5 just for the shell.
Sure.
And it's just a fire sprinkler system costing that building. It's astronomical, so, I mean, again, just, I'll throw it out there and see, and, if we could pick it up for a bargain basement deal, and we build it out. I know the town of Frankfurt just did that, and they redid their building, they had a beautiful court system there, nice police department, I mean, they did it right, and they bought a building that, again, they lost their business or whatever, they were going bankrupt, and they bought the building out, and for, great price, and they put the money in the interior, and got a bunch of grants, I think they got their whole court paid for, so, So I'll look into that. So that's all I have. Anybody else? Yeah, definitely not.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, make a motion.
Nobody's gonna second.
You guys want to stay with me?
I might come up with something soon.
I will second.
Motion by Jim, second by Dave. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Thanks, guys.